about the online survey, and also my observation, are the challenges faced by the learners implementing e-learning in USIM, and also we'll summarize the conclusion. Okay, next about the introduction. Okay, according to this Rosenberg 2011, e-learning refers to the use of internet technologies to deliver a broad array of solutions that enhance knowledge and performance. Okay, this is more on the definition about the e-learning. So, and in USIM, okay, the e-learning is still evolving in Malaysia, especially in USIM. So we have the blended learning method, which covers 30%, at least 30% of the overall learning method. So every lecturer should actually gain at least minimum of 30%. So what is blended learning? So it's actually a combination or hybrid, we can say, teaching methodology where this term is increasingly used to support e-learning that combine with traditional or the conventional classroom methods and also the independent study. So basically, I got this, what we call this, the percentage. Okay, I got this from the goals during the half of my semester, I think, during the faculty meeting. So they say about the pre-evaluation assessment for this subject, I got like 50%, where actually I already achieved the minimum. So I don't know what is the total value at the end of the semester. So these are all the modules that have been predefined. Okay, then also been introduced to the learners for this course, such as news forum. So we have two types of news forum. One is the posting, where only the lecturers can post, and the other one is interactive forum, where the student also can reply. And then we have the course outline forum, upload files and website links, and also the online quiz. So the online quiz, we have many types. We up to the lecturers how they want to design the quiz. MCQ, is it an essay or structure? So far I have used the MCQ and also the structure, and also explore the Web 2.0 tools. Since some of the students already know what is Prezi, so it's not hard for me to ask them to use the Prezi. And then also the assignment, where they need to submit online assignment. Good. So we go to the objective of the study. First, I want to evaluate the lecture and the lab teaching for this course, which is Network and Management Information System course. And then secondly, I want to highlight what are the issues and challenges in implementing the e-learning tools throughout this course. So these are the methodology. So how to assess whether this course is actually acceptable. Okay, 4 questions have been conducted online using the goals module. And then I distribute the survey questionnaire. So 2 types of response format, which is closed and open-ended questions. And for the closed-ended format, learners were asked to choose only one answer from several options. And the final survey was an open-ended question to encourage the learners to give their opinion based on the predefined questions in the survey module. So basically I have 4 types, 3 closed-ended, and the final one is open-ended, where they need to think a bit. Okay, I have like 186 students for 2 batch, year 3 and year 4 from PKS. So I send these online survey invitations through goals. So I use the modules that have been embedded in goals, such as options, survey. So the respondent is actually from undergraduate students of year 3 and year 4 from Fakulti of Quranic Sunnah Studies, from program Sunnah and Information Management. And the duration that I gave to them is 9 days. And these are the outcome. So I've got about 539 responses for the entire survey, means for the 4 survey. So I did some analysis for the survey. And according to Fowler 2002, when average response rates are high, where I got 72.45%, the probability of error is small. So So I think 72 is quite okay, at least I achieved more than 50% of the respondent. So these are the findings. So let's go to the first findings. 539 responses were received for the study, 72.5 average response rate for 4 questions. The first question, close-ended questionnaire. So these are some very simple questions. E-learning tools can help students gain knowledge and skills faster than traditional method. What do you mean by traditional method? You know there is lecture by giving the slides and then no online technology. So only 2 people disagree. So majority we can say agree that e-learning tools helps the student gain knowledge. Okay, this is very easy. Then second survey I did. Okay, which chapter that you find the most interesting? So I list out all the lecture that I gave to them until lecture 14. So I found out that lecture 7, that is about network topologies. This the most interesting chapter where it helps the lecturer to improve. So when I got these results, so I know lecture 7 was very, the student quite interested with the lecture 7. But not like lecture 9 until lecture 11. So it means when, let's say if I teach them again, or maybe for other instructor, they can use based on these findings or based on these results to improve how they can actually make the student attract to other lecture. Okay, maybe the topologies itself is actually quite interesting because we involve the star, ring, mesh. The rest is about more on the information. Okay, and then we go to the third questions. It's also close-ended questionnaire. Okay, this one about social media. Examples I gave here: WhatsApp Messenger created in a group helps students to get information faster by providing an effective two-way communication. Okay, for my subject, this time I decide to use the WhatsApp, and I create 4 WhatsApp group. Easy for me to update all the information. Sometimes every week about the lab, I will tell them, okay, I already upload this on, so please open this, because students, even though we already said during the first lecture, they will always forget to check it every week. So this is my style. So any questions, I will only reply to this WhatsApp group, not personal message. So I will reply to the personal message. Okay, this survey achieved the highest response rates, which is about 89.78%, where majority strongly agree to this effective approach. And then we have the final questionnaire. Okay, this one I use the predefined questions using survey module in goals because I don't have enough time, so I just use the predefined questions have been built in the goals. The modules. So these are some variety answers that I received. However, I only choose the 5 interesting as an indicator to extract useful responses. So 104 learners respond to answer this open-ended question. 82 learners did not respond to this survey because they need to think. So sometimes they don't even actually understand what is the question. I received the lowest response rates, 56.45 for this type of question, due to the nature of the format where the respondent had to think and write their opinions. So I share what are the questions. At what moment in class were you most engaged as a learner? So these are 5 of the answers that I choose randomly, which I think gave me a very proper sentence that I can also understand. All the time in lab and lecture, very interesting and comfortable to learn, and also when get high mark. So that makes them happy. In the beginning of the class, okay, maybe starting of the class, and after that I'm not sure whether they still engaged to the class or not. And third, when the lecturer show videos that are related to the topic, besides when the lecturer was using the drawing tools to explain to us about the topic. So when I teach them, I don't actually just use the slides presentation. Sometimes I use video, sometimes I draw using some PowerPoint tools, because it's hard for me to use the whiteboard, because in FAQS the projector is actually on top of the whiteboard is actually behind the projector. So it's hard for me to write, to use the whiteboard. So I use the PowerPoint tools, the drawing tools to describe and draw again, okay, instead of just reading the slides. Okay, practical session based on the computer, peer-to-peer. I have the lab also. So sometimes I did the practical part when there was a discussion between lecturer and students. Then the second questions of the final survey. Okay, at what moment in class were you most engaged as a learner? I think, sorry, the question is wrong for the second one because it's a copy paste. The second question should be, let me see on the paper. Sorry, the second question should be, at what moment in class were you most distant as a learner? Sorry, not an engaged, distant as a learner. So the answer is correct. Okay, the answer here is about never have this moment when I fall asleep and unable to give full concentration because the lecture was at night. Okay, PT I've got the lecture actually from 8 to 10 p.m. and the student already quite packed with the schedule from morning until 10 p.m. So they aren't able to give full concentration. And third, during lecture class, it is because the lecture is held during the night. So the same answer. Too strict of using language in English. Okay. When I teach them, I use English. But during the lab session, sometimes I will ask them, do you understand this? I will try to ask them, what's the meaning of this? Okay, open this app, dictionary.com, install if you don't have. I will ask the student normally to install dictionary.com apps, okay, instead of using other methods. 5, lecture class, because too many students. I have like nearly 200 students and hard for me sometimes to know whether they really understand or not. Too many students. And the third question of the final survey, what action from anyone in the forums did you find most affirming or helpful? So here the contents of the question is related about the forum in the goals. So when anyone in this forum talk about due date and work to do outside this forum, actions that have good explanation, follow the guidelines when other student posted new posts in the forum. Okay, this is the very easy questions. And then final question, what action from anyone in the forums did you find most puzzling or confusing? Okay, not follow the guidelines. Some of them just simply post without understanding about the topic. So far, I did not face any situation when I see someone post something which is difficult for me to understand. When everyone interacting with each other at the same time, when they post wrong information, that means off topic. Okay, next proceed with the issues and challenges faced by the learners. So I identified through verbal communication during the teaching and also during the lab, and also through my observation during the entire course. So the first one, I figured out limited access to the network, where some of the students only depend on the internet access only during the lab session. So for those who can't afford to buy the mobile data or whatever, they just limit maybe just for Facebook or WhatsApp. They don't limit for the goals, so they only depends during the lab. Secondly, bandwidth issues and connectivity of free Wi-Fi provided by USIM is accessible and high Wi-Fi signal for certain places. Sometimes if you go to this floor, it's okay, but when you go to the third floor, it's not working. So, interactive content such as YouTube video and Prezi require higher bandwidth due to the combination of multimedia elements. So when you use a lot of animation, you need a lot of bandwidth to allow the video to buffer and load. Slow bandwidth creates frustration and boredom among learners and discourages them from exploring the updated modules in goals, because it was slow and then they will give up. And the third, challenges or issues. Learners were allowed to use lab in the faculty only during the lab session and monitored by an instructor. So normally I always teach in FPQS. I found out even though when I'm this lecturer came late a bit because I have to solat first and sometimes I have another meeting or whatever, the instructor does not, the technician does not allow the student to enter the lab unless the instructor was there. So I think it's limit the students to explore or to use the lab itself. So I think maybe because some of the rules that has been broke by the students make that technician angry or not allow them to use during the instructor is there. I think that is one of the reason. But maybe we can try to solve this problem. Number 4, learners feel disappointed when the online quiz could not be completed within the time due to the network server error by ghosts. This could be too many learners accessed at one time and limited database server. So that is my assumption. I'm not sure from ghosts. So I assume maybe at one time, at concurrent time, too many try to answer the online quiz. But normally when I did the online quiz, I make like 2 days or 1 day at any time. But normally students prefer to do it last minute. That's why it gets stuck and jammed. I have conducted like 4 or 3 online quiz. So I faced like 2 times the network server error. And using the WhatsApp group, so I get the feedback from them quite fast. So I immediately informed the girls to fix it. And the girls also quite very supportive. They fix it very quick, which is good. Okay, then we came to the conclusion. So it is hoped that this study will benefit the instructor and the institution to produce more conducive e-learning tools towards improving the implementation of blended learning methods in Malaysian higher education. On top of that, the way discourse learning was taught could be improved based on the findings.